What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Yesterday, in the comment section, there's a military veteran that was questioning and honestly being pretty disrespectful, not towards me, but let me explain it. So I talked about guys in prison going to war behind those walls. And this guy, being a military veteran, he made fun of that. Like, ha ha, war. How about Fallujah and this and that, right? And I got into a back and forth with him for a second. Not disrespectful, but just explaining to him. And, so today I want to do a video on that. I've made it clear. I've told a bunch of stories where when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Marine. I even went to the recruiter's office when I was 13 to get into the Devil Pup program. And because I was already on probation, I was told I couldn't join the Devil Pups program. I've been told since I got out by other former Marines that recruiter was wrong and that I could have got in. And who knows what would have happened with my life, but we can't worry about that, right? But I'm saying that to say I fully respect those who serve. Anybody that's been in restaurants with me when military people come in, I usually go and pay their meal. That's just me. I always thank them for their service, though, no matter what. And I have to say, I've told multiple stories of one of my cellmates who, he's one of the guys that started in Monteflores, and he was an airborne ranger in Vietnam. I had a cellie that was in Korea when I first got in. I had several different cellies that fought for this country. And not one of them who was engaged in conflicts in other parts of the world for this country, as well as being engaged in prison warfare, not once did they say, this ain't real war. And so the man that was in the comments making fun of it, he said, how was it war? And I gave him an example, and I said, how was it war whenever the so-called Aztecs battled someone? And he said, because they had a real enemy. In no way do I ever try to justify criminality, prison living. I just give you a glimpse into it. So let's take a glimpse into it. Imagine you're on a yard, and maybe you're only doing 8 years, 10 years. And, you've gotten into some stuff and you wound up on a level 4 prison. You're not involved in the politics, but there are politicians. And this is what I broke down to the dude, that each faction, each prison is like its own world, its own earth. Each faction behind those walls that's on that yard is its own nation, with their politicians, with their weaponry. And so imagine you're there and you're trying to get home. You're doing your time, minding your own business, but something happened. And because you're not into the politics, you're not aware of it yet. You may get lucky and hear a rumor, hey, there's some tension right now. Next thing you know, you go to yard and a homie approaches you and says, hey, you got a strap on you? Meaning you got a knife on you. If you do, you say, yeah, why, what's up? If you don't, He's going to say, okay, look, you see, you know, and I'm not going to go into details, but you're going to get a piece in a second. And I want you to go, you know, kick it with the homies and just, when it's time to move, we're going to move. And you're like, damn, in your head, you're all right, ons. And that adrenaline starts flowing. And you know now that the yard's about to go down and that your whole faction is about to move on another faction. And you know there's a good possibility that some of that faction, some of those people that you're about to move on, that you're about to attack, they have weapons on them too. And you know for a fact, if you're on a, let's say a 180 design prison, you have 4 gunners because you got the small side and the big side. So you're on the yard side. You have 4 gunners, 4 towers, and then central tower. So you got 5 rifles that could be firing live 223 rounds at you. The homies tell you, hey, come on, let's move. Guys get on the track. Everybody's getting in position. The other dudes, whoever your target is, they're starting to notice the grouping up. They start pulling out their weapons. And then boom. It kicks off. Men in hand-to-hand combat, because some are going to get caught slipping with no knives on them. The attacking force is going to be armed. People are going to be getting stabbed. There's going to be blood everywhere. The cops will start shooting the launchers, shooting rubber blocks at people, tossing smoke grenades, tear gas grenades, concussion grenades. Some towers are going to be firing 223 rounds at you out of a mini 14 rifle. And you keep going. If that's not a war, I don't know what is. When people go to war, they go to war with the weapons at their disposal. Does it make sense to people out here why they go to war? No. It doesn't take away from the fact that people are getting killed, people are getting stabbed, people are getting shot. Mothers are going to have to bury sons. Children are going to have to bury their father. They each fought for their faction, which is in their nation. And it's a very, very brutal, scary, senseless thing. Just like all violence is, at the end of the day. But to me, it was important to make this video because I remember being in there and I had the wrong way of thinking. I remember thinking, man, all these people out there, they don't even know the shit that we do for our raza. But we weren't doing shit for our raza. We're doing shit for those yards. And for people, well, what are they fighting over? It could be various things. What do we go to war for here? Why were we in Vietnam? Why did we go into Iraq? And remember, I'm a conservative. I felt going into Iraq was the right thing to do based off of what they were trying to do. A lot of people say it was for the oil. I don't believe that. You had a nation that had an over 90% literacy rate, that had an infrastructure, that if a democracy could have been established there, it would have shook up the whole Middle East. That was the plan. They got away from them. A lot of people would say it's over oil. It's over treasures. Same thing on the joint. Somebody's involved in the dope trade. That's their economy in there. The economy is different in there than out here. And people can't wrap their minds around that. And that's irrelevant. To me, it's just anytime there's a war, anytime there's violence, it's all because of a lack of communication. And then there's dead bodies in the wake of it. Again, I respect the men and women who serve for our nation's military, that are in our nation's military. But I don't think it's right for anybody to, hand-to-hand combat with knives, and for somebody to say, how about you go to Fallujah? Whoever said that, because I don't remember your name, you had air superiority. You could call in airstrikes. You had tanks. You can fight from very long distances. You know, my cousins from LA, when they used to come to Santa Barbara, they used to tell me, man, I don't like getting in this shit over here. They say, you know, in Los, we'll just start busting. They can shoot from a distance. They used to tell me, you guys over here, it's a lot of knife playing. Everything's up close and personal. You think you're in a fight, next thing you know, you're bleeding out. Same thing in prison. They can't call in any jets. They can't call in any Apaches. They can't call in any cruise missiles. They're fighting another faction while the COs are shooting live rounds at them. In 96, I lost a friend of mine. New Folsom. Cops shot him and killed him. I believe he was 20, maybe 21 years old at the time. Didn't have a life sentence. So when I hear that, man, it's disappointing. It's such a horrible thing, man. Anytime there's war, I don't care where it's at. But that's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.